Hi, everybody. Captain Lou here with another edition of the ACHA Power Play as we are live here on 12 Ounce Sports. And we invite you to take a look at our YouTube channel, which is, of course, 12 Ounce Sports, as we've got all of our archived shows of the ACHA Power Play Season 9. Can you believe it? It's been 9 years that we've been doing the ACHA Power Play. Comes to a close this week as we wrap things up. Already looking forward to Season 10, our 10th anniversary of the ACHA Power Play, starting up this September. It's going to be bigger and better than ever. But let's take a look back at Season 9 of the National Championships. But before, again, as we do, we want to remind you that you can catch us, all of our archive shows, subscribe to our YouTube channel, which is 12 Ounce Sports. All right, let's take a look back now. As we mentioned, 4 champions, new champions, a couple of brand new champions, and we've got one repeat champion, actually a three-peat champion, that being Sioux College. Again, congratulations to UNLV, the Skating Rebels, as they are brand new champions. And Lindenwood finally getting to the mountaintop. They're a brand new champion as well in men's Division II. Hope College, they're back to the mountaintop. 4th time for head coach Chris Van Timmeren as they go to Division I. Coming up here in men's ACHA in the fall of 25. And Liberty, what can you say about them? The dynasty is back as they roll. Had a little bit of a struggle as they went into double overtime, but they won their 6th championship and in 7 years as Chris Lowe's team back on top. And, of course, Sioux College, not once, not twice, but they're now a three-peat champion in ACHA Women's Division II. I'm telling you, it's just the magic of live radio. We've got everything going on here. Live TV. We're going to keep it going, though. All right, let's take a look back at Sioux College as let's get their highlights as they were three-peat champions with some highlights of that championship game.
Land on the hat trick. She tipped it in, Lou. Material Land gets the power play goal. Natural hat trick for Material Land here in this opening period. Time of the goal, 19:32. We're going to take it home here now, in behind the goal, over to the far side. 13 seconds left. Out into the neutral zone area. 7 seconds. 5 seconds. Once, twice, 3 times a champion. That's Sioux College, your ACHA Women's Division II National Champions, as the clock strikes 0. And again, Sioux College, your 2025 ACHA Women's Division II National Champion.
All right, then of course we had a chance to talk with their head coach after the game, and let's see if we can get this video recording up.
With the victorious
Audio, that is.
Three-peater national champion, Brianne Chinook. Brianne, I got to ask you first of all, what did you tell to your team after that timeout yesterday in the semifinal?
We just said that we need to get back to our game. We were getting a little bit sloppy, and I know Annika mentioned that yesterday in her interview as well. So, you know, we always tell them if we play our game, we're unstoppable, and we just needed to learn how to get the puck out of our end instead of making crazy passes that weren't working out, and it worked out for us.
3 goals in the opening period yesterday, 4 more today in the opening period. That's going to make your job a lot easier when you get out to big leads like that, right?
Honestly, they missed the net a lot in practice, so I'm just so happy they learn how to score goals when it really matters. And, you know, it was a full team effort this whole time. We saw a lot of goals from first-year players. Yesterday, all first-year players were the ones scoring the goals, so it's great. It's great for our program because with such a high turnover rate every year, we just need to keep building.
Does it get old?
No, never.
Yeah, I didn't think it did. Congratulations, Brianne, and enjoy this. Three-peat national champions.
Thank you.
Yeah, so congratulations to Brianna Chinook and the Sioux College Cougars. Three-peat champions, big win over Assiniboine in that final, the championship final. They got there in the semifinals with a win over Wisconsin 5-0. We talked about it. They scored 3 goals in the opening period of that semifinal to cruise over a Wisconsin team. Their first trip to the national tournament, that being Wisconsin, and they got to the semifinals. So a big win for Sioux College. Wisconsin, a good showing there. In the other semifinal, we talked about it. It was Assiniboine getting back to the national tournament again, to the championship game rather, 2-1. That was a gutsy win over a Navy team that really came to play throughout the tournament. That was a fun game to bring as well. So Assiniboine and Sioux College met in the finals once again, just like they did last year. But we talked about it. Sioux College jumping out to a 4-goal outburst in the opening period, cruising to a 6-2 win. We also had a chance to talk with Materia Land. She got the hat trick for Sioux College, and let's see what she had to say.
Blue here with Materia Land, the hero here in this championship game. The natural hat trick. Talk a little bit about that third goal, especially to really put your ladies out in front.
I don't know. I was just feeding off the momentum of our team, and everybody was being so positive, and there's so much energy. It just came. I don't know. I wasn't really trying to do it. It just happened, and Bayer saw me, and she saw my stick, and she just shot it right at there. I just had to put my stick on the ice.
After what you would call maybe a slow start in the opening game, your gals just rolled into the semifinal, and then today, 4 first-period goals. What was the talk in the locker room after 20 minutes when you had a 4-1 lead?
It was kind of just keep going because we knew they were going to come out hard, and we just had to keep pushing and being positive and keeping our energy up because we knew it was going to get them a little bit scared.
When did you think it was time to start celebrating the win?
Honestly, not till that final minute where that's when I really felt the joy.
Well, congratulations. I know winning never gets old, but congratulations on a great game and a great tournament. And now you call yourself another champion.
Thank you very much.
All right, everybody. So Materia Land, she had the hat trick in the opening period for the Sioux College in that win in that championship game over Assiniboine. 6-2 was the final there. So they are three-peat champions. A dynasty right now in women's Division II, that the Sioux College Cougars. So congratulations to them. All right, let's stick with the women's side. Women's Division I as well. Liberty had a streak going 5 straight years where they won the national championship. Last year was interrupted in the semifinals. Minot State beat them in the semis. And then it was Liberty, I beg your pardon, Adrian that went on to win the national championship. But Liberty wasn't going to be denied this year. They got through pool play rather easily. Then they took on Midland University in the semifinal. That was a big game. Midland, a nice run to get to the semifinals. We're going to show you a highlight of one of their goals here against Minot State in pool play in a moment. But it was Liberty with a 5-2 victory over Midland to get to the finals where they would take on Maryville. Maryville took on the defending national champion, Adrian Bulldogs. And it was Maryville with a 5-3 win over Adrian to get to that championship game. Big win for them. This was just an unbelievable matchup in the championship game between Liberty and Maryville. 2-1 was the final, but it was never – this game was far from not in doubt. It was back and forth the whole way. Such an exciting game, one of the best women's hockey games I've seen in quite a while. 60 minutes obviously did not decide it as it went to double overtime. But before we go to that, I want to, again, we talked about it briefly. One of the coolest goals that you'll see in the tournament, this one happened in the Midland game against Minot State in pool play. Let's take a quick look.
Back there now by McKenna Beard. She'll outlet it, tipped around. Now this one will go down into the Midland zone. It'll be played off the side of the goal. 12:35 to go here in overtime. Still scoreless. McGuire, nifty move, comes in a goal, and she scores!
It was, again, just a dipsy-do move right through the legs, right into the goal, and Midland with that win over Minot State, who went to the finals last year. Maybe a little bit of an upset. That overtime winner made it 1-0, and then they advanced to the semifinals where they got beat by Liberty. Liberty would go on to the championship game, as we mentioned, to take on Maryville, who beat Adrian in the first semifinal 5-3, and it set up Liberty with a chance to go back to the top of the mountain.
Haley back there now by McKenna Beard. She'll outlet it, tipped around. Now this one will go down into the Midlands. They're able to get it now. Beckett over on the far side. That one tipped off the side of the goal, trying to make a play on it. O'Brien played over in the near corner in behind the net. There's a one-touch shot. That's a score! Haley Beckett gets a one-time blast on the far side, and it's 1-0 Maryville. Time of the goal, 12:54.
Just listen to this crowd, Lou.
Skating with the puck, Sauer. She'll skate it up over to the near side. Sauer brings it in towards the goal. Tipped away by Filardo. Still played around the boards. Glenn has it there. Her play deflected over to the near side. Skated around Zoja Adamic. Nipsey, new move. She'll bring it in now to the face-off circle. That's a score! Zoja Adamic with the one-time blast walks it into the face-off circle. And 2 minutes into 6 seconds into double overtime, the Liberty Flames are back as queens of the mountain, as they are the 2025 ACHA Division I Women's National Champions.
There you go. Congratulations to the Liberty Flames. Sorry about the video edit. Again, the magic of live TV, right? Trying to get some highlights here. I want to thank Andy Petzinger, too, for the highlight package that he sent me. And these videos, obviously, courtesy of Flow Hockey. But what a win for Adrian. What a win for Liberty, rather, in double overtime. Just a back-and-forth game. Maryville jumped out to that 1-0 lead in the second period. They had their hometown crowd there on that Friday afternoon for that game. Such a fun atmosphere to have them there. Liberty travels well, as we all know, when it comes to ACHA tournament hockey, and they are the standard bearers in women's hockey in Division I now. 6th championship in 7 years for the Liberty Flames, as they are indeed the women's Division I national champions. So, all right, we're going to take a break. We come back. We're going to take a look at a few more highlights. We're going to take a look at Lindenwood's highlights on their national championship. Then we're going to listen to a couple of interviews we did with Hope, as we talked to head coach Chris Van Timmeren after their big win, and also Nolan Holtrup, who was the MVP, the tournament MVP. And we'll take a look back at a couple of interviews we did last week as we talked to the brand new national champions. We got that and a whole lot more. You're watching the ACHA Power Play. It's here live on 12 Ounce Sports. And welcome back, everybody, to the ACHA Power Play Live right here on 12 Ounce Sports. Season 9 of the ACHA Power Play coming to a close here this evening as we wrap up another great year of ACHA hockey. Don't worry, we'll be back for Season 10 coming up in the fall in September, as the road to St. Louis for 2026 will start then. So, but we thought we would wrap it up with some highlights, trying to bring you highlights and some interviews here today. I'll tell you, you never stop learning, right, when it comes to production and all of that. So again, bear with me as we get you we try to get it so it looks as best as we can. So we talked about the national tournament, brand new champions, Lindenwood, of course, at the Division I level. They were the national champions a few years ago with a big win over Adrian, and then they went NCAA D1. Well, they've got a D2 program there that has been no stranger to qualifying for the national tournament. They've had chance after chance of getting in, falling short, most recently to Indiana in the semifinals last year. And it was such an interesting scenario where they lost to them in a tornado game where we had to take a break because of the bad weather. Well, ironically enough, they took on Indiana again in the opening round of pool play. But that game got halted after one period because of the tornado warnings, the power outages, the whole 9 yards that went on down at Centene in that opening Friday. So they had to resume it an extra day on Monday. And it was for all the marbles to get into the semifinals. The defending national champions, that being Indiana, and Lindenwood, probably as most regarded as the number one team in the country in men's Division II. Well, it was 1-1 in the second period. I want to just take a look back at one of the coolest power play goals you're ever going to see right here.
44.
Well, how about that? Let's try it. I tell you, I can't win for losing today. I thought I had this all set up. Let's take a look back now at that power play goal, shall we?
Here comes the Lions power play. The Lions win the draw. They've got it out at the point. Robinson will take it. Skates it over to the near side to Jones. Jones weaves over to the far near side, rather skates in behind the net. Drops it with a one-timer, and he scores! Power play goal!
So there you go. Sorry about that again. I thought I had it all queued up, right? I'll tell you what, man. Crazy, crazy day here. Crazy night on the ACHA power play. But again, we're just winging it live, right? That's how we do it. So again, a beautiful goal. Ryan Jones set it, or Nick Jones set it up to Stanley Lucas. That gave Lindenwood a 2-1 lead. They were able to make it through pool play with that win to go to 4-1 win to go to pool play, where they would take on in the opening round the Florida Gulf Coast Eagles. And that, a lot of people thought maybe should have been the championship game, but Montana State had other ideas as they rolled through St. Thomas 6-1 in the first semifinal. Lindenwood would go on to win against Florida Gulf Coast 5-1 to get back to the championship game for the second time. Last time they played in it was 2018 when they took on Florida Gulf Coast. Well, this was an opportunity for them potentially to finally get that championship trophy, which they're able to do. Let's see if we can't take a look at some of the highlights of those.
Time of the goal, 5:47. Nice. Lead pass going to be a little too strong for Call. He'll play it and backhand it over to the near corner. Out on top, Robinson. To the near side, Del Fosse back out to Robinson. Over to the far side. Odd angle shot, and he scores! Ryan Granville with a one-time blast from the right face-off circle. And it's 1-0 Lindenwood. Time of the goal, 5:47. It's played over into the corner. Chasing after it will be Wes Innes. He'll throw it around the boards, but the Lions again with good pressure in the offensive zone. Now played out to center ice. Quickly the other way, coming in towards the goal. Played in and behind the net. Trying to come up with something. There's a one-time shot, and he scores! Jackson Mundell off the feed from in behind the goal. And just like that, we're all tied up at 1. Time of the goal, 14:22.
Well, that was not how it was drawn up for Montana State.
And the blue there in the crease as it's played out to the blue line. Now here come the Lions, both teams at full strength. Christopherson will retreat with the puck. They'll play it around, now held in, dropped out to the tip. Now here come the Lions. They'll play it out into the neutral zone. Dollywall will skate it up. He'll feed Milhausen. He comes in on goal, and he scores! Logan Milhausen one-handed it into the zone, and he got it past Johnson, and it's 2-1 Lions. Time of the goal, 9 minutes. Montana State zone stretch pass tipped down as we'll get some changes for Montana State as well. 8:43 to go here in the second period. Here's an opportunity coming on goal. Luco, his shot, and he scores! Luco on the breakaway gets it past Johnson, and it's 3-1 Lindenwood. Time of the goal, 11:24. 4, 3, 2, 1. And we'll get one last face-off with 1.3 left. As you can see, head coach Gary Gardner grinning from ear to ear as he's that close to tasting a national championship. All right, they're going to get one more draw just to the right of Cole Wheaton. And there it is. And we've got new kings of the jungle. And they are the Lindenwood Lions, your 2025 ACHA Men's Division II National Champion.
So there you go, Lindenwood. I know the graphic said Men's Division I, but that was indeed the Men's Division II National Championship game, and that was Lindenwood with a big win over Montana State. So Gary Gardner's team, their first national championship with a big win, 4-1 rather. They are the kings of Division II right now, the Lindenwood Lions, and they're going to be a fun team to contend with next year as they bring back a lot from that team. So congratulations to them. And finally, in Men's Division III, Hope College, no strangers to the top of the mountain. They've been up there. They've tasted victory and defeat in the last few years in the championship game, of course, winning 2 in a row, 21 and 22. Then in Boston in 23, got beat in the championship game by Michigan. Last year not making it, but then this year getting back into the championship game. It was tough for them, as we'll talk to head coach Chris Van Timmeren here in a moment. We'll play that interview that we had after the game was over. They lost their opening round matchup in pool play to Michigan State. So they needed some help and a big win, and boy, did they get it. Michigan State lost in the second game of pool play. So with a win by Michigan or by Hope, they had to win against Grand Valley and to get the tiebreaker, because Michigan State ended up losing in the second game as well, or the third game rather. So it came down to Grand Valley and Hope out of pool play to get to the semifinal, and they were able to win that one 3-2 over Grand Valley. Of course, both those two teams from the Grand Rapids area. Hope based out of Holland, which is a half hour southwest of Grand Rapids. So for Hope, their semifinal matchup was a matchup against the defending national champions in Division III, that being Lawrence Tech. And Hope took care of Lawrence Tech by the score of 5-0. As they took advantage of some power play goals and were able to actually all their goals were scored with the extra man, as they ended up winning 5-0. Then it was the Air Force Academy against Oakland University. That one turned out to be a dandy. Air Force looking for their first chance to get to the championship game, and they made good with it. Undefeated on the regular season, undefeated in tournament play. They edged Oakland. Oakland, of course, back in the last decade, they were national tournament participants every year. Final Fours, national championship run in 2016 under Matt Sterling. He was a player on that team, now the head coach of Oakland. But the Air Force Academy was not to be denied as they made it to the championship game with that 3-2 win over Oakland. That set up the matchup against Hope College. Hope looking to get back on top. Air Force looking for their first national championship. And after 40 minutes of play, it looked like Air Force just might have that first championship, as they were up 3-1 after 40 minutes. Then went on the power play in the third period. A power play goal there. It could have been Katie Bar the door, and could have been Air Force looking to celebrate their first national championship. But Hope got a couple of shorthanded opportunities that they almost collected on, and they kept that momentum going. 5 goals after that in a span of like 11 minutes to run away from Air Force and win that one, going away 6-3. One of the most incredible third periods I've seen in ACHA tournament play, as they were able to come back from that 2-goal deficit. Nolan Holtrup with the hat trick. He was the tournament most valuable player, as they stunned a lot of people. The Hope crowd was there. They travel so well. The Air Force crowd as well. It was a great atmosphere in that championship game, and congratulations to the Dutchmen, as they are national champions. We had a chance to talk with head coach Chris Van Timmeren after that contest.
The head coach, Chris Van Timmeren. Chris, Whatever you told them after the second period, you got to patent it. Congratulations.
I mean, that was, first off, I got to say hi to my daughter, River, who's going to be watching this. I think these guys just believed all week. Like, we were dead and out after the first game, and they put everything into it, including that last period when, it's do or die. And they came out fired up. One goal turned to 2 to 3 to 4 to 5. Just kind of a statement about our whole season.
2018, you and I sat down when you won your first championship, and I remember you lost the game in the pool play, and you said we weren't going to give up. We knew it all along. Yep. It's come full circle. Another great performance after that first game.
Yeah, it certainly was. I mean, I think in that national tournament, I said after the third or second period, God made 3 periods of hockey for a reason. We got to show up, and then we had a big lead. Same thing here. We needed to play a full 60 minutes, and we did.
So what really stood out to me was the penalty kill. There in the beginning of the third period, you got a couple of shorthanded opportunities, and you just kept the pressure on in the zone. And Nolan Holtrup then was just amazing.
Yeah. We said all year that we want special teams to give us momentum to the next shift. Whether we score or we don't, we want to make sure that our special teams ends up giving us momentum. And I think the kill did. And what can you say about Nolan Holtrup? A senior. His freshman year, he was here. We won a championship, and he never played, but he was such a great bench guy. And see it full circle now that he's a senior to get 3 goals, MVP of the tournament. It's unreal.
Does it ever get old?
No, this never gets old. I told the guys, there's no feeling like this. And to win it this way, these guys will remember this for the rest of their lives, that they were down going into the third period by 2 goals, and they won by 2.
Well, I think you're going to remember it for the rest of yours, too, Chris. Congratulations.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Yeah, Chris Van Timmeren, always gracious with his time throughout the years here on the Power Play. Head coach of the Hope Flying Dutchman, national champions, as we mentioned. We also had a chance to talk with the MVP of the national tournament, that, of course, being Nolan Holtrup. Let's see what he had to say after the championship game as well.
Nolan, what a third period. 3 goals for you, but what a comeback. What did Coach say to you in between the second and third intermission?
I mean, we all just kind of focused on what we did all year, just dialed in, leaned on our faith. We gave all our faith to God and trusted in his process through this whole game, and we just really bear down, and just whatever outcome we had, we found comfort in God, and God is good. God is good all the time.
The first goal was amazing. The second one, what was going through your mind when you knew you had a chance to tie it up and then get that momentum?
I mean, I knew none of that power was from me. That was all from God. It was something surreal. I didn't know what to feel, but all I could do was thank God in that moment.
So, again, I talked to Chris. You were here a few years ago. Now you're back on the mountaintop. Does this ever get old?
No, not old whatsoever. I was chasing that feeling ever since the first time, and it's great. It's great.
Well, Nolan, congratulations. Go enjoy with your teammates.
Yeah, that what a fine young man. Just, again, a great culmination of the career for him, as he mentioned. Being there when they were in St. Louis when they won it, now a major contributor this year, getting the hat trick and leading Hope to the big win. 6-3 over Air Force again, down 3-1 after 40 minutes of play, killing off the penalty, and then getting 5 unanswered goals to put them away, and their 4th championship since 2018. So Hope College, again, back on top as the Division III national champions. Now they get to move up to D1, and they get to set their sights on potentially a Division I national championship. Obviously, the road will get tougher, but what a way to end Division III dominance with another national championship. All right, we're going to take a quick break again. We come back. We're going to take a look back at a couple of the interviews we had from last week as we talked with the head coach of the UNLV Skating Rebels, Anthony Vigneri-Greener, and also the head coach of the Lindenwood Lions, Gary Gardner. You're watching the ACHA Power Play right here on 12 Ounce Sports. Don't go anywhere. Rebels of UNLV. Let's bring him in, the head coach, Anthony Vigneri Greener. Coach, first of all, congratulations and thanks for taking time out tonight. How are you?
Good. Thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
Oh, hey, the pleasure's all mine. Has it sunk in yet?
Yeah, I think it's finally starting to settle down here in Vegas. We've been on a kind of just a wild ride the last couple of weeks with just all the support the community's showing us. We did the nights, we did Silver Nights, we did the mayor's office, or tomorrow, excuse me, the mayor's office. But the boys got after it for a bit. They took care of business and, did their we had a good event this Saturday at our rink where we got, all the fans and donors out there. So it was a good experience for everybody just to come take a picture with the cup and say thanks to everybody that supports us. But yeah, it's really sinking in now that it's been about 2 weeks now. Here in a couple hours, be 2 weeks, but it was long awaited, but worth every second of it.
Well, it's funny is I just find it fascinating that it all culminated with a rematch, from last year's championship game. And a game, quite frankly, Coach, I didn't think you guys played that bad last year in that game against Adrian. Both teams played so well in that one. It was a lot closer than that 3-0 score would indicate. And I guess you guys used that as plenty of motivation getting into the regular season. We'll talk about that in a minute. But quite ironic that you ended up playing Adrian again in the championship game.
Yeah, I thought our first period, the year we lost, was better than the first year than we won. We really pushed the pace of play. We hit 2 posts, outshot on that first game. But yeah, I think that's what all the boys wanted. They circled it. When we knew we were going to the championship, we were fortunate enough to get to watch the game against Minot and Adrian, and the boys were kind of just wanted that grudge match. And they got what they asked for, and then they put everything on the line and went out and won a national championship.
Well, I want to talk about your season as a whole, or capulate it in a little bit, but I want to get right to the national tournament. The first game. Now, Arizona is a team that is in your conference. Is that correct?
Yes.
Yeah. So you got kind of a rematch with them. I wasn't surprised they won their opener, but you guys played very well in that game. Just came out strong and never let up.
Yeah, it's a little scary when you play a team so many times, and we've had a lot of success there. It's been I would say 3 or 4 years since we've lost to them.
Okay.
So you're due to lose one at some point for any reason, bounce, bad play, whatever. So I didn't love the matchup, just to be honest. Just I'd love to play Oklahoma. Nothing against Oklahoma. It's just a new opponent. The boys wouldn't look past them. But yeah, and then starting on the penalty kill because we didn't face the flag didn't help. It eased my nerves, but after we once killed that penalty, I think it brought a lot of momentum to the guys, and they settled in fairly quick, and then we got on the board early and kind of just ran with it from there.
So I have to ask you, we'll get that past that one, the Maryville game. What did you say to the boys after the second period? I didn't see any panic. That was the one thing I looked in your eye after the second period when you went to the locker room. I didn't see any panic, but what did you tell the boys going into the third period?
Yeah, I honestly didn't get nervous until there was about the 10-minute mark, and then I was like, okay. But the message was really simple, just because of what Maryville's game plan was, just kind of just play, 5 in the dice, just punt pucks out, and make sure they didn't give up any grade A scoring chances. And unfortunate bounce to be down 1-0. Then the next thing we're down 2-0 on another little small breakdown on our end. And but other than that, I mean, we dominated that hockey game in every aspect of possession, scoring chances, shots on net. Just nothing would fall. And our message was simple. We talked as a staff in between and just said, hey, listen, this is what message we're going with. And the message was like, there's just no simple way they will be able to withstand 20 more minutes of this. They are holding on by a thread.
Yeah.
And, we were fortunate enough to get one there, and then we tied it up late. We were about to pull the goalie, and we ended up, scoring without having to do that. And then, an all freshman line that played a lot during that tournament, they were buzzing, and they get a little bit of a break there where he makes a good play in the neutral zone and chips the puck around a D, and then Jenny's going to the net hard and finishes the puck, and we're on to Sunday.
Yeah, what really you just brought an interesting point, and I was going to bring it up towards the end, but I guess I can bring it up now. Is I talked with Gary Gardner, they're the D2 Lindenwood champion coach. you guys, you remind me of their team. You've got a lot of young kids that are going to be coming back that really gained a lot of experience, and they weren't freshmen by after the first game. They were veterans now in that tournament. That was a huge plus for you guys.
Yeah, they have, all my freshmen. We brought in 9 freshmen and 2 transfers this year, and they all played. Kids, or 8 of the 9 are all NA kids, so, they played in, big games their whole lives, so it was nothing new to them, so it wasn't like
Yeah.
freshmen. So, yeah, I only graduate 6 this year, and, we got a great core coming back, obviously losing a few of our upperclassmen just
Yeah.
with the leadership purposes stings a little bit, but I think we have a good room where they mentored the younger guys for them to take the reins and kinda lead by example this year.
So, one of the themes that I saw, and you just talked about it in your Maryville game, a lot of these games, I don't know if you noticed it, the disparity in like puck possession time and shots on goal. Peyton Turnage, the guy that called your championship game, him and I talked about it the whole tournament. I wish there was a stat that could track puck possession time because you guys dominated it, especially your team, just about every game. But a lot of teams were dominating it, but they still had to scrape to get by. And not just your games; it seemed like the whole tournament, all 5 divisions.
Yeah, I think that, we use Instat and Huddle, so we can see where our possession of the puck is, and,
Yeah,
I played forward my whole life, so I love to go fast and go north with the puck right away. So we're quick in transition. And, one of the things that we stressed about to get through Noah on, that final game was like, let's get inside the dots and
yeah,
shoot through screens just to make sure that we're getting a lot of traffic. Because, yeah, we do outpossession the teams or most of the teams we play.
yeah,
But, still you have to comes down to execution. So if you don't execute, the possession's pointless.
right.
And, we struggled with that at the beginning of those first 2, but then by Adrian, our execution was spot on. Like when we got a chance, we made sure it was in the back of the net.
So, one of the things that I noticed in the UNL or the Liberty game, I had a chance to watch that. I sat over behind the goal in the third period where you guys had that explosion. Have you ever been a part of a game where your team scored 6 seconds apart, 2 goals?
I don't think it was that close. Again, we get to going, and once we get hot, it's bad for teams. It's
Yeah.
good for me to sit back,
Yeah.
but it's bad for other teams because we have a lot of speed, a lot of skill, and
Yeah.
it comes down to execution. So again, with that game, starting out 1-0 on the first shot kind of stings, but we settled right in, and we had a ton of chances. And
Oh.
then I mean, grade A scoring chances, and their goalie played phenomenal.
Mhm.
But when they scored, make it 2-0, there was kind of just no hesitation still. It's just like, okay, we're good here. We'll get one. As soon as we get one, the floodgates will open. And I don't know which coach said it on the bench, but I think it was CR or maybe it was Nick. But
Yeah.
they kept saying that, like, hey, we're gonna get one, the floodgates are gonna open. And it's true to its word. That's what happened. You get one, you get two, then you score, right away. And it was kind of like, oh, we're down by 2. Oh, we're up by 5, up by 3, like,
Yeah.
so it was a blink of an eye. But it just speaks volumes of the guys. This that bend but don't break attitude. They just nothing really flustered them for such a young group.
Yeah.
They battled adversity all year long, and they took it on the chin and faced it head on, and that's the kind of kid we want here at UNLV.
Yeah. It's funny is I had Matthias Del Monte on the show after your game against UNLV or against Denver, and you could tell he said it was great, but the focus was on the Nationals and nothing's going to get in our way of getting back to the top. And you could see that focus in him and some of the other players. I mean, you all had focus, but especially in that UNLV game, again, I go back to it. You weren't rattled. You weren't rattled at all. And you're right. It was just a matter of time. And that to me is such a mark of a champion.
Yeah, no, I think a lot of it has to do with experience. We've
Yeah.
been so close. We've been into a Final Four. We've lost the national championship game, and those obviously it's upsetting moments in coaching and playing careers, but it's also you can learn from them. And when you got a guy like Dells that can lead by example
Yeah.
and say the right thing always at the right time, and then he had 3 assistant captains, other upperclassmen to kind of just follow his lead and then everybody else follow him, you're probably in a really good spot as a coach just to have something like that as a leader. Honestly, I think, I played hockey a long time. I've been a captain myself, but Dells is honestly, and I had another great captain in the previous two with Alec and Ricky here, but Dells, I mean, if you think of a captain, yeah, it could be his picture, honestly. And I would say that to anybody in any level of hockey, like he portrays a captain on and off the ice, how he presents himself, how he prepares himself, how he can speak to media, and then what he can do on the ice and in the classroom is exactly what a captain should be, and that's Dells.
Of the UNLV Skating Rebels, that being Anthony Vigneri Greener, the new men's Division I national champions. Again, just an excerpt of the interview we had last week, which you could catch the whole video, the whole interview on our archive, which is on 12 Ounce Sports on our YouTube channel, which we invite you to subscribe to get all of our shows, all of our ACHA power plays. Again, he talked a little bit about their run to the championship game. What a great run they had in that tournament, winning right through the tournament. They had some close games. Obviously, the comeback win against Maryville to win 3-2 in overtime in that one, and of course against Liberty, where they spotted them a 2-0 lead. But they made no mistake against Adrian, as they are indeed the men's Division I new national champions. We also last week had a chance to talk with Gary Gardner and Nick Jones. Let's take a look back at some of that interview that took place again last week. We're going to bring him in here in a moment. And at Lindenwood, a team that's been there so many times in the tournament, in the playoffs. And of course, I lost my sheet that had all my stats on it. But anyways, they've been there numerous times. They got back to the championship, and they made no doubt about it. So, all right, let's bring in freshman right winger Nick Jones. Nick, how are you doing? Thanks for coming on today.
I'm good. How are you? Thank you for having me.
I'm good. So before we get Coach Gardner on, I got to ask you a question. Give me a saying that he just makes you laugh anytime he says it to get you guys going.
He's a pretty serious guy. I mean, there isn't anything you really said that would make us laugh, but one of the good things you would say is that we're a one team, one family, like all our shirts say. One team, one family, to really just keep us motivated towards the same goal.
Gary, is that true that you don't do anything? They don't get you guys. They don't get you rattled or anything like that.
No, sometimes it's hard to keep a straight face for sure. These guys obviously bring some life in you. As a head coach, I'm getting a little older. I'm 40 years old, so being around these college guys, they definitely give me a good laugh here and there. So good energy.
All right, Nick, I got to ask you. I told Gary this. That game against Indiana, the resumption of that game on Monday. First of all, I got to thank you because that was the most exciting 20 minutes of hockey I ever did play-by-play for. And I got to ask you, what were you thinking when you set up that power play goal to Stanley Lucas? That to me was a thing of beauty.
I mean, obviously, I'd love to say that was all me, but we've been drawing that up in practice for a while now, and I mean, we told ourselves that we'd only use it in the time where it's like we really needed it, so we wouldn't use it all year. I mean, we probably had that for 2 months, and we didn't use it until Indiana and the big moment to really put us ahead, which we never really looked back on.
So Gary, that whole setup, with the way the pool play, started out, and then of course the weather delay, then you had to play them on Monday. I mean, how was your blood pressure going into that Monday game? That, all of a sudden, it's all for all the marbles and you're down to just 2 periods. That I never seen anything like it.
Yeah. There wasn't really any type of preparation as far as that situation. Obviously with the tornadoes and then the delay, and the main message I just told the guys is like, if there's only 40 minutes here, like we can't give them any momentum off line changes. I mean, you got to remember too, we're starting line changes the opposite side, as a second period always is. So it was just like hammering those points of, don't give them any momentum off line changes. Make sure we're smart getting on and off the ice. And to be honest, I told the staff, like, we got to get this first one. I mean, your odds of winning has to be dramatically increased when you get the first one.
So Nick, you came in as a freshman at the beginning of the year, obviously, and your first series or your first weekend series was Indiana. What kind of an adjustment was it to playing Lindenwood hockey in the ACHA?
It's really not that much of an adjustment, honestly. The system that we play really works out well for us. Like I'm a big puck moving skill guy, obviously, a little less defense, but we play a very big puck moving style, which has really benefited me coming in here, which has just made it easy.
Well, that's good. You guys had Coach, you guys had what I consider a very successful season even before the national tournament. But one of the things that really impressed me was your first series after winter break, what I call the marathon. Then you get into the sprint part of the schedule because you got about 6 weeks. You went to La Jolla and you swept Liberty. Talk a little bit about that series, because I think that actually helped, again, set the tone and get you on your roll to the national tournament.
Oh, that was a big one. To be honest, that was kind of circled on our schedule. Like I told the guys, like, you're going to be in a familiar situation of 4 weeks off. And if we make it as an auto bid, you'll have 4 weeks off, and then you got to drop the puck and get after it. So it was a huge test for us. Anytime you go on the road, it's always a scramble in the sense of you don't know what you're going to get, whether it's refs or just the conditions and stuff like that. So I was really proud of our guys. I felt like we were prepared, and they brought their A game. And there's some stretches there that Hughes and his boys really gave us some tough hockey, and we overcame it. So for sure, we gained a lot of momentum. Just that shootout win was that was a fun moment for all the guys involved. And anytime you get on it's an easier ride home. So
what was that like, Nick? Getting that 4 week break before nationals? You got the number 1 seed locked up. What did you guys do to stay fresh and get ready?
I mean, we were all over the place. I mean, we have a lot of guys who don't like losing, to say the least, and and with a few altercations in practice. But I mean, it was. I feel like can be a good and a bad thing, because we were just so ready to get going. So it just kind of carried over to playoffs. But those 4 or 5 weeks they're long, to say the least. I mean, we were playing each other in games, and it was as physical, if not more, than the playoffs.
How was that challenge for you, Gary?
That's always a challenge. We're fortunate enough to get the auto bid, so I would definitely take the auto bid all day instead of grinding it out at regionals. But in saying that, every year is different, every group's different. How can you stay, fresh and keeping them challenged every day is obviously can be quite the obstacle. But like Jonesy was saying, there are a lot of guys where you got an older group of 10 or 11 seniors that are kind of carrying the way. And there was definitely some tough moments in practice, even in handball, off ice there. They came back and they're with the strength coach, and supposedly they kind of got into it a little bit in handball, who was winning, who was losing. So, but in saying all that, I mean, they got competitive juices. I'd rather reel them down than try and reel them up. So, I appreciate their hard work and their competitiveness.
Well, Nick, if you're a golfer, then I ain't going anywhere near a golf course you're at if I were lucky enough to stay within a couple of strokes, because who knows, man, you might try to slash me in the ankles.
I mean, I definitely don't like losing, to say the least, and I will do what it takes to win.
Well,
I thought you were talking about his golf shot. Did you hear about his golf shot? Did you see that?
No.
No, halftime, the school had.
Oh, I did see that
women's basketball game. Yeah, and then Jones got picked to make the putt or take the putt all the way down the court, and he drained it.
That's amazing, boy. Yeah. When you're hot, man.
Yeah. I couldn't believe it.
I couldn't either. I just wanted to just hold the arm up and just act like you knew it was going in the whole time after, you know?
Well, I tell you what, you gotta can that or something, man. You gotta do something with that for the rest of your career here. So you guys get to the tournament, and Gary, you had to know in the back of your mind, everybody heard the weather forecast for that Friday, that you're going to run right into it. So you got in the locker room, and then they announced the delay. What was the biggest challenge there as a coach in that Friday night?
Well, I mean, I don't know if you know this. A year ago that day, we played
Yeah,
Indiana in the Final Four on March 14th.
I remember. Yeah,
So it was kind of crazy. Obviously, those feelings were going to the back of your mind for sure. But ultimately, we just came in between the periods. I just told the guys to stay loose, and really, it becomes a non-hockey situation where we're just hoping that everyone's safe around us
yeah.
in the community, and obviously inside Centene, we're just kind of hunkered down and then just sticking together, making sure we get out of there in one piece physically, much less playing a hockey game. But yeah, we're just waiting patiently. We knew that the ACHA, I thought they did a really good job. Then all the Centene guys, the staff, they do a really good job. We got obviously a good relationship with them. We work with them every day to get our practices and games off. So I felt confident, and just the guys, I just told them all year, control what you can control. And that was a situation that, all we can do is worry about what we're doing, and these four walls waiting for, the call to get back out there. Or if it got delayed, it got delayed. So.
Boy, Nick, you guys must have been chomping at the bit Saturday and having to go to McKendree too. I mean, you guys must have came out flying.
Well, that was a whole switch up, honestly. I mean, we were all pretty much prepared to play there. I mean, even at the Indiana game, we were pretty anxious to get back out.
Oh, I
Obviously, knowing that like the year prior, the exact same thing happened, which you want to come back and just whip them after that one to put it back on them, let them know how it feels. But I mean, coming out against Northeastern, we were ready. Northeastern was a big, heavy team, which I feel like actually was probably one of the best things for us. That one.
Yeah.
After that game, we were a whole different animal as a team physically, and I feel like Northeastern's a big part of the reason we won.
Boy, it showed on Sunday. And I'm not saying any game is easy, but on paper it looked like it was. But you guys came out just on all cylinders, man. That was impressive.
Oh yeah, against Utah. I mean, that was one with Eastern. We were just like ready for anything, pretty much. Like no team had really played us that heavy all year until Northeastern, and we kind of expected everyone else to try and do that. As the score is, I think, only like 2 or 3 goals difference, which is pretty close for most other teams. But that was a big part of the reason why we just came out hard. I mean, then we go and beat Florida 5-1 after that game, or then Indiana, then Florida. But that was a big reason why.
Yeah. So, Gary, I know when you saw that you were playing Florida Gulf Coast in the semis, boy, how much extra motivation did that give you?
Motivation for sure. A little, I guess you could say, disappointing that the number 1 and 2 teams face each other in the Final Four.
Yeah.
I know maybe from Florida Gulf Coast kind of felt the same way, but it's just the way that obviously it all turned out. But yes, motivated for sure. Florida Gulf Coast, they do a good job down there. They got a great program. That's our rival.
All right. Again, thanks to Gary Gardner and Nick Jones for taking time out to be with us last week. Again, you can catch the entirety of that interview as well on our show from last week. Go to our YouTube channel, 12 Ounce Sports, and you'll see the ACHA Power Play in its entirety. Great interviews with Anthony Vigneri Greener and, of course, with Gary Gardner. Both first time national champions, UNLV, the Skating Rebels in D1, and Lindenwood in D2, well-deserving. Just great programs, very consistently near the top every year. And they're going to be back next year, no doubt about it, as defending national champions. And they're gonna look to defend that crown, and they're not going to go anywhere fast, I don't think. So, wow, yeah, season 9 coming to a close here on the ACHA Power Play. Want to thank everybody involved throughout the year that's come on the show. Craig Barnett, Dave Kurtz, Rasty McGibbon, all the coaches. and all the players that have made this the best year yet for the ACHA Power Play. And again, can't wait for season 10 to start back up in September. We always take the summer off with the show just to kind of recharge, give everybody the summer off. And there'll be a lot of things happening. The big thing will be a brand new men's Division III national champion, as we mentioned, as Hope College will now bump up to men's Division I coming up in 25-26 as they look to see what the fortunes bring for them at the D1 level. And I got a feeling they're going to be a player in Division I sooner rather than later. They've got such a great program over there. Chris Van Timmeren, been at it a long time. He's got over 600 career wins. And so he's definitely going to bring that team to new heights in men's Division I. So, but it's been a fun year in season 9. A lot of ups, a few downs, but that's how it always goes every year. And it's been an absolute treat to be able to bring you this show. Again, thanks to everybody involved. And at the national tournament, it is such a blessing for me to be able to be a part of that. We talked about Dave Kurtz and Craig Barnett. I want to thank them again for letting me be a special part, or a small part of it, I should say, of the broadcast team and helping out with them. Had some trials and tribulations this year down at the national tournament. Well documented with the weather, with the tornado warnings, the power outages, everything. But that crew just persevered throughout the night on that Friday night into Saturday morning. Brendan Ross deserves a lot of credit too. They stayed up all night that Friday night to make sure everything happened. Russ Schlegel, can't say enough about him, all the work that he did. Good luck to him with his knee replacement surgery, I believe is what he's getting, or hip replacement, one of the two. Anyways, he's going to be moving even quicker next year. Ed DiGiacomi with head of referees for the ACHA, probably the best crew yet that they had down there. So again, thanks to them. Andy Storrs, it was great working with him. The public address superstar, along with Margaret Dixon, they both did fantastic work. So many people behind the scenes as well. And the folks at Flow Hockey, and of course the fellow broadcasters, Peyton Turnage, Reagan Cleaves, Todd Corder, Chuck Kraus, Andy Petzinger. Just so much fun to work with throughout the couple of weeks. Always great to meet new people. And again, when we get together, it's like a reunion every year for a couple of weeks. It flies when we're there, but it sure is a lot of fun. And my hat's off to them for putting together a great tournament. So, all right, this is so long for the season, but not farewell. We'll be back for week 10 coming up in September. Make sure you stay tuned for that. Season 9 of the ACHA Power Play is in the books, and want to thank everybody involved throughout the year that has come on the show to make this as much fun as easy as it is. Even though today's show, from a mechanical standpoint or video standpoint, I apologize for the glitches. Thought I had it all ready to go. But again, the magic of live TV, phone calls, whatever, through the show. Oh, boy. It's been one of those days. But anyways, it's always fun to be with you here. And I really appreciate everybody welcoming us into your homes, on your computers, on your TVs, however you watched us around the world this year here on 12-Ounce Sports. All right, that's going to do it. Captain Lou saying keep your heads up, keep your sticks down, keep your feet moving, and as always, keep your minds open. Until next time, we'll see you on the ACHA Power Play right here on 12-Ounce Sports. We'll see you this fall for Season 10.